40, the new generation of family planning leaders, it's Candid Conversations. Real people, real stories, real impact. A podcast where we talk to family planning and reproductive health champions from around the globe and take a deep dive into current topics in family planning and reproductive health, as well as the personal journeys of our champions, the challenges they faced, what excites them about the future, and some advice for other up-and-coming leaders. I'm Carolina Samaran. Thank you all for joining us for our premiere episode. Today we have two special guests, both 120 under 40 family planning champions and winners of the first round of the 120 under 40 Ingenuity Fund. The Ingenuity Fund was designed to reward fresh, inventive thinking that will enable breakthroughs in family planning and reproductive health. The kind of thinking that can cause a positive disruption in some aspect of family planning. This funding opportunity was created for the 120 under 40 winners as a way to challenge them to grow as thought leaders and to participate even more fully in charting the course of family planning beyond 2020. So a big thank you to our guests for joining us today. I'll let them go ahead and take it away.
My name is Laraib Abid and I am from Lahore, Pakistan. I am the founder and director of Mashal, Making Our Society Healthier and Lively, and Flair of Mashal. I am the 120 under 40 awardee of 2016. So I am with Peter and I would like you to introduce yourself as well.
Thank you very much, Laraib. My name is Peter Ngure. I'm from Kenya. I work with Pathways Policy Institute, where we deal with population health, security, and environment issues. I'm a 120 under 40 winner for the year 2017 and an Ingenuity Fund winner for the year 2019. Maybe, Laraib, you would just give us a little background of yourself and what you have been doing around family planning with your work.
Okay. So in 2012, I started my work for women empowerment, and then I started, focusing more on family planning and reproductive health. When I came to this field, family planning came to me as an inspiration and also as by chance, because when I went to the organization where I was offered a project, it was based on family planning. But during that work, I came across so many stories and so many inspirations that I thought that I should also do something. I'm not that sort of like 9-to-5 person. I always want to do some projects. So I just worked in the organization for the sake of, learning. And then I, said that I will go for certain projects where I will learn more. So I was, more interested in working in the organizations that can provide me learning. That was my only focus. And obviously, the theme has to be reproductive health and rights. So I worked in certain organizations, and it was amazing experience. And then when I, thought that I could also start my own idea, because in my country, it's not always easy when you're working to, implement your own idea. First, I also tried that to, give my idea to the organization, but then they had some issues that it might be controversial and all. So, I kept working on my idea. So one day, the story that I always tell that, came to me, inspired me to work for a family planning and reproductive and health and rights. So then I started my initiatives, one-day activities, then, moving forward to that. So then I had my organization, Mashal, Making a Society Healthier and Lively, and its sister organization, that is Flair of Mashal. Flair of Mashal, basically for the sake of technological support. So Peter, as I said about my mobile application and innovation, why don't you tell me about your region, the perception, and then with the idea that you came up with?
Thank you very much. I've worked in the family planning sector for the last 7 or so years. I came from the democracy and governance sector, so I was more of policy work, ensuring that being an activist, rights are upheld for everyone. Then I got to the reproductive health work because we were getting new policies after the 2010 Constitution. And moving closer, we got to doing a lot of budget work because most of the funds in my country are devolved. They are at the county level, not at the national level. And family planning is one of those that was devolved. But there has been a lot of gap because there is no money at the counties to support family planning activities. So I started advocating for that and ensuring that counties develop costed implementation plans around family planning. So after doing that for about 2-3 years, the counties I work in, which are about 8, they all have costed implementation plans. They have good policies, they have budget. But then I started asking myself the question of, so what's missing? Why aren't young people still accessing services, even when there is money, and even
There's
when
money.
there is a good policy to support the same. And I realized that we had a gap, especially with providers.
Okay.
And so what I'm doing currently and for the next few years will be trying to recognize and award healthcare workers who are more bold to go out there and look at the young people and ask them, how do you want services delivered to you? So at the moment, that is what we are developing. We are developing a youth-friendly criteria on what young people want to see as youth-friendly. Not WHO has given guidelines, the government has given guidelines, but young people have not given guidelines. So we are asking the young people, what exactly do you mean by youth-friendly services? And so they will be looking ahead and identifying health workers who are bold enough to come to them, to ask them how they want the services provided, and then get the services. So what we will be doing is that we will be awarding health workers who are coming out and helping these young people to access the service. And our hope is that we can create a big mass of health workers who are out there, who are ready to engage young people, who are not biased, who work outside their work schedule, who can take a motorbike and drive to where the young people are, who are not too afraid of... most of the health workers are biased, not because of individual values, but because of systemic values. What will their peer colleagues say? What will their director say? Or they are not even motivated. So they wonder, why would I want to just take a ride for 40 kilometers to go give young people services? So we are trying to encourage and nurture that kind of conversation among health workers now.
Okay, I got your project, but how do you, mobilize and facilitate for the budget activity? How you map the organizations and how do you connect them with the budget thing?
The budget we work is the government budget.
Okay,
So what we do is every year there is a budget cycle where we do public participation. The government calls for public participation for citizens.
Okay.
So we mobilize citizens to come out and give their views around family planning. One of the challenges we realized earlier is that when people are called for public participation, the people who participate are not the people in real need. Women and young people don't appear for this public participation, mainly because of where they are held. Most of them are in the headquarters, so they are not where the people are. And because of the things they discuss, budgets are very heavy documents that even talking to a person from the community or a young person, they will not be able to synthesize what it means to have a budget. So we try to make the big books more palatable to the communities by telling them, if it's a bridge, this is the cost for a bridge. We don't tell them this is the accrued cost. There's a lot of jargon in budget conversations. So we try to ensure that the language is also palatable for communities.
So are you working as an individual or as an organization?
Pathways Policy Institute is a consultancy organization, is a think tank around policy issues, and we are 5 volunteers. We work in different organizations, but we've taken this up as community members and said this is the gap we are seeing in our communities. And so we are basically working outside. We have our 8 to 5 jobs, but then after that I teach in the university. But after that, I am more inclined to working with the communities and supporting the community. So it is a startup. We are hoping when it grows bigger, maybe we will have more of the staffing and stuff. But currently, we are just doing volunteers. And also realizing that there are so many young people who are looking for opportunities to learn, to intern, to volunteer, to just gain experience. And so Pathways is giving young people that kind of opportunity.
So is your subnational government supportive or is just one area and not other governments?
Currently, we have 3 subnational governments who are very supportive of the work we are doing. In fact, one of them just called me. We will be talking more of the youth-friendly criteria that the young people will be presenting. And one of the county governments, the reproductive health coordinator, called and said, we would want to sell this idea to the next budget cycle so that the awards are not coming from a private investor. The awards are coming from government. One of the things we've realized that government, when you go to demand for budgets with the county governments, if it's budgets that goes out there, like family planning commodities, they see it like benefiting the community, not them. But this change of idea that the awards will be benefiting them has also excited the county government and the county workers a bit. But for us, that excitement will only be be felt if they can be able to go out there and give the services. So we are doing the balancing. If they will put the awards in their budget, even if it's a small amount, but then the criteria is still who serves the young people best, then we will be good to go. So it's interesting to get from the background that you are working in a broader perspective, then you got more and more into family planning and reproductive health, but then you went into forming the organization and trying to use online and the mobile app that you have produced. Would you tell us a little about how you got to decide that a mobile app is what would be the best thing to work around and how it's impacted the young people in your country?
Okay, so I share a story. One day I received a call from a friend who lives in Lahore, the metropolitan sort of city in my country, and she told me that she has like 2 kids and she has conceived another one and she's not ready because, her husband is abroad and he just visits annually and they are not so financially stable. So what should I do? Because I had a lot of doctors in my family, so she was just referring to them, if I could connect them with her. So I just randomly asked her, like friends, that if you were not ready, then why did you plan for it? Then she told me that I had no idea, that what are the contraceptive methods. And I was a bit shocked because, of course, at that age, I thought that maybe everybody knows about it, but do not talk openly about it. But for sure, they know about it. So I was a bit surprised that she didn't know about it. And she said that, I said that you could even, go before marriage to ask. She said that, it's a stereotypical thing to go to a gynecologist or FP center before marriage. And then I said that you could call, somewhere on the phone numbers. And she said that she had no idea what are the numbers. Then I said about the Google, and she said the information is not authentic, it's not localized and all that. So all 3 questions, made me to think what I can do for it. I was just thinking that, okay, if someday, I have to feel this problem, or maybe if I'm not comfortable enough to talk to my doctors who are in my family, what could be the next platform? So already I was working on family planning and reproductive health and rights, but this story inspired me to do something or maybe create a platform that I thought was a very small initiative. I didn't think that it will give me this good response that I had afterwards because I thought it's just a small idea. But maybe this is how ideas work. You think it's small, you implement, and the impact is huge. So I just actually pitched this idea that I'll create a mobile application. And I just tried it for one city to see how sort of backlash that I get, how it will impact, how it will be beneficial for the people. The mobile application was different in a way that it not only had the authentic literature that was localized because a lot of contraceptive methods are not available in Pakistan, but also it had like the clinic's map location pinned because it's not available at all. I did a thorough research, how many applications are present, what the website has in its content, because there are websites, but the content was different. And then I also added the psychologist and psychiatrist numbers, the toll-free numbers, as much as I could. And it, also keeping it a bit brief so that the app is not so heavy.
So it sort of provides comprehensive information for young people?
Yeah, exactly. For the contraceptive methods, especially because in our country, nobody talks about the men contraceptive methods, especially the permanent ones. So I made sure to, categorize it that for men and women both. I made sure to, add Urdu language and English both. So when I did this, the response was amazing. As I said, that I never thought that is something huge. I thought just another project or small thing, to be very honest. But then the, response of Population Welfare Department, UNFPA, the local office in Lahore, Family Planning Association of Pakistan, a lot of organizations, when I called them in the consultative meeting and they were like, we didn't have this idea. How come you have? I really wanted to give that answer at that time. You didn't have because you didn't include the young people.
True.
I mean, I don't think it was something that only I could think of. It's just that young people are not given so many platforms. So I thought I'll always engage young people with me. So whoever is interested, I try my best to, engage them in the project. So sometimes you also have to feel the challenges with the beginners, but I do try, to have a space for them. So now the main thing was about scaling it up. That was a pilot activity. So Ingenuity Fund 2019 actually helped me to do this because, scaling up from one city to a provincial level was a bit difficult task because I just did seminars in Lahore for my first phase. So now for the second phase, it will be like all over Punjab, all the centers in Punjab. And now I'm not only including the centers of government, I have also taken the list of other organizations. For example, if Family Planning Association of Pakistan has some centers, the Green Star has some centers because they all are providing free services. So all the free service, not only the government, but I'm also adding the private free services, because previously it was only government services. And also for the psychologist, I'm not only adding the government helplines, but also the private ones. And the open mic sessions are also all over the Punjab in different cities. And one of the most important thing that I'm really excited about actually is that I'm going to add one more thing in it. It will be like audio version of the application that is present in Urdu and in English. The inspiration also comes from a friend of mine who is visually impaired, and I helped him to, do some projects and all. So I just thought that my application, how would he use if I want to show him?
Yeah,
so
true.
that's when I came to this point. And also for those people who cannot read and write. So the thing that I'm looking forward is that when I'll do the audio version, I'll make a video of how he uses it. And I'm very excited to share the video. I didn't write that in my proposal or anywhere, but it just came to my mind that I'll ask him to use, just to see how, he gets
it
the
works,
information
yeah.
and all. Because he's also a social worker and very much interested to work on family planning for the visually unimpaired people. So maybe this application can be of
Could be of
his help.
yeah. That's very interesting, because one of the things we always ask is how many numbers have you reached, or who have you been able to reach from different sectors in society, and like what is your vision in 3-4 years time? What is the future of family planning using app and communication in Pakistan?
So I'm very much passionate to see this mobile application on a national level. I took from city to province, and my third phase would be the national level. And in national level, the work will be huge, because although I am talking about a lot of people who are living in other provinces, because they will connect to their population welfare department. We have local governments and they have their control, and we are usually in contact with those who are our provinces one. So I'm already in contact, so just creating a base so that it will be a bit easy to reach them, but still I'm working on it whenever the third phase also starts, because already I'm so much occupied in the second one. But I'm passionate to take it to the national level and to add all the all the provincial languages, because we have different provincial languages and a lot of people do not understand Urdu, although 95% of them do. But it's of no harm if you can add more ease to the information. So Urdu and English, of course, would be there always, written and also audio. But I do see it on a national level with all the languages, keeping it very lightweight so that people don't have to delete in that case when you are, deleting the data of your mobile. So if I have to add the videos, I'll prefer to, add the link. Not the direct videos. I don't want young people to, even I do it. When my mobile phone is full, I just delete the extra applications. So I wouldn't want my application to be that heavy. And then I worked on Android, and now I'm working on like web application. Web application can help to, see the application in any device.
In any form of device.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. And I think using tech for young people is a change, is a game changer as we move forward too. And one of the good things I like about you is that you're also a teacher in the university.
Yeah.
I don't know how that plays into your work.
Yeah, I'm teaching in university, and one of the reasons that I'm teaching is because my classroom is my training room. My teaching style is very different. It has a lot of videos, a lot of dancing, music, activities, and lesser is like talking about the theories. They have notes. Everything is up to what I tell them, but it's very different. And that's why I am teaching in like a department where I can think that, they don't need the detail of my subject. If you're teaching one major subject, you have to stuck to, a lot of topics. But my subject for them is like minor subject. I am teaching in English department. Their focus is English and literature, but I'm teaching gender and sociology. So for them it's a newer perspective, and it gives me better insight, because when I studied in Department of Sociology, everybody knew about these things and sociology. But that department, those students have a different perspective. So I think when I train them, I feel better that, I'm training that lot who has no idea about this exposure. So that's why I chose that department right now, and I'm just, teaching one class because of my involvement in the project. But that gives me a lot of courage too.
It also gives you a chance to learn from the young people.
Yes.
Yeah. So just as a person, being a winner of the 120 under 40 and now winning the Ingenuity Fund, what does that mean to you?
Oh my God, it means everything. Actually, it means a lot, because, I always say that people who live maybe in the developed countries might not empathize to that fact that how many problems we are facing in terms of even finances, the projects, the concepts people have. That's because of the mindset that has been created. But it's like I just said thank you to Owen yesterday, and I said thank you for bringing up 120 under 40 on table when he was telling that he proposed this idea. I am so happy because at times as I said, told you that I wanted to work on my ideas in some organizations, but they were very reluctant and wanted to do which was only given by the donors and all. They never allowed me to work outside the box, because I am one of those students and people who want to work outside the box and think of more ideas. I thought that young people are usually engaged in those things which seems interesting. I know that a lot of people are doing work on arts. I love it. I also include theater all the time. It's included this time too. But with theater and music, technology was somewhere missing, where I think that daily you're spending 8 hours almost on the mobile phone, and there's nothing on the mobile phone. Yeah, it's good to add music, arts and everything, but technology has taken over everything. So then I thought that tech is very important for the young people. Social media and mobile applications both.
Yeah. Are there any regrets you have in what you do or what you haven't done? And in 10 years, where would you want to see family planning conversation in Pakistan?
Okay, so for the first question, regret. Whenever there's a question of failure and mistake, it always gives me it makes me go puzzled a bit, because there is one quotation that I really like, but usually I don't say, I don't want to make myself showing off or something, but there's a quotation that I don't take right decisions. I take the decisions and make them right. So I usually go to something that has in my gut feeling. I do that, and I try my best to make that right, because already that's inside my mind that this is right, so I just take it. So for failure, I don't know, because whatever I wanted to do, I have been doing. One thing, yes, that I can say in a way, that some organizations that I spent time with, again, I had a lot of ideas and I could implement back then too. So, there are some months where I thought that I might not be that productive just because I was bound to certain things. So I could have done that earlier, but there's a phase of learning, without which I couldn't do it. So that was also important. So I cannot say any regrets. I'm very happy with the things they are going, and I hope that it keeps on doing like this. Yeah, you have to struggle for resources every time, knowing the mindset and the theme that we have chosen. So that's why I want to see this conversation of family planning in Pakistan being very normal, without myths and stereotypes. I mean, I still cannot, help myself not quoting that whenever I get the message of some of my female friends that, can you send me the link application or something about family planning? And when I send them, and I always tell them, please give me feedback, how much you have, and they send me messages, oh, this is so, helpful, and I found a lot of information in it. That's my success story, although it's just in my inbox and they cannot make it public. But then for me, that's the success of my application.
Around achievements, my biggest achievement was getting the costed implementation plans for 11 counties. Kenya has 47 counties. And for the last 4 years, I worked with different organizations in ensuring that counties organize themselves and develop policies around family planning. So the policies are now costed for the 11 counties. The next challenge is, of course, wanting to see them invest more money in the same. I think the biggest regret I have is that I didn't start this earlier. I wish I had started the awards earlier. There is a group that started the sports awards earlier, and currently every sportsman in the country is so keen to be awarded, just as an individual, to be recognized. Human beings have the need to be recognized, to be appreciated. One of the facilities told me, we don't even want you to give us, one of the places we will be giving the honoraria is a goat, because they are pastoralists. One of the places we will be giving a motorbike. But one of the places they said, we don't need all these things. We just want our portrait put in a facility. Just showcase us for a month that this is the best health worker in this facility this month. That kind of motivation, appreciation, actually makes people want more to help the communities, other than even appreciating them with money. So it's just a change of mindset that is coming up, and it's something big. It's going to be big.
Yeah, it's exactly my point that I said, that, when you're working in an organization, your ideas are not appreciated, or for some reason think to be thought as controversial, and that's, create a gap for the idea implementation or for the better, workings environment.
And as you said, some of these ideas are not conventional.
Yeah.
So maybe
That's
like
right.
you making an app
Yeah.
or me starting awards. I mean, it's not very conventional.
Yes.
It's not the mainstream kind of
Yeah,
work
and
that
who
people
wouldn't
do.
want that to get paid and then also work on your ideas? But
Yeah,
we have to
it's-
leave that and work start just like you have started like, as a startup. We have to spend so much volunteer time on a lot of things just because we can implement the newer modern ideas, and we cannot just go with the conventional ones again and
Yeah.
again.
But also encouraging young people to go out there and be a bit bolder. I mean, like the 120 under 40, I don't know for you, but for me and especially for the 2019 team, I'm a 2017 winner. And one of the 2019 winners is one young man I have mentored online.
Oh,
This young man, he has met me, but we haven't had an interaction. I
Yeah.
couldn't even remember him. But when he won, he told me, this is because of the kind of work you've been doing. I don't know if in Pakistan you have people who come out and tell you, I've done this because of the work you've been doing, and it just makes you want to keep going and keep going.
Of course, that's for sure. That the next lot, the younger lot, when they follow you and they come to you and they say we want to work with you, I think that says it all, right? So at the end, do you have any final thoughts that you want to share, or anything you want to suggest?
I think I would just want to first to thank the Gates Institute for what they are doing for us. I think this is a bold move.
Yeah.
I'm always excited by people who do bold things that may fail,
Yeah.
things that may not be
High
very
risk.
conventional. They are
Yeah.
high risk. But the people who have faith, it's because society can only develop if there are a few people, not many, a few people who have faith in a process. If no one had faith in the 120 under 40, some of the big ideas we are seeing today, we may not have seen them. They may, as you're saying, have died with the big organizations,
Yeah.
curtailing our work and telling us to work 8 to 5. But the fact that someone took that bold step and said, let me support these young people,
Yeah.
and maybe this will be the change. And I always tell, and even such interaction like the Leadership Accelerator, because I always tell people, the people I met in the university from very different backgrounds, from very different countries, are shaping my opinion of what I think can do
Yeah.
even today. And if I look at our leaders, especially for us in Africa, most of the pre-independence leaders were in the same school. They went together, they had ideas, they went back to their countries, but the seed that was planted keeps growing. So even for me, I'm so happy that this can happen. I wish it can happen
Yeah.
for more young people. Resources are never fully available, but I wish every young person would go through this and interact with people from different spheres. I don't know what you think about it.
Yeah, it's the same thing as I said earlier, that my vision would be young people accessing that without stereotypes and working together for a healthier life and better with the resources that are present. So yeah, it was really, really inspiring talking to you, Peter, and I hope that your work goes well, and best of luck from my side.
Thank you very much. I hope I wish you all the best in your work, and I hope the app can become a bigger app that we can use all over the world. Not
Yes,
only
inshallah.
Yeah, so that the whole world uses it. And I mean, at ICFP 2021, we may just be discussing of the biggest, not the next big idea, but now the biggest idea in the world. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you once again to Laraib and Peter for sharing their stories. It is amazing to hear about your passions and your goals for the future. We look forward to hearing more about the impact your projects have in your communities and countries and how you'll continue to make a positive change. Thank you once again for inspiring us to be bold and think bigger. You've been listening to Candid Conversations. If you like what you hear, please visit our website, www.120under40.org. This podcast is made possible with support from the Bill and Melinda Gates Institute for Population and Reproductive Health at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health and Bayer. This episode was produced by me, Carolina Samaron, Kelly Wellborn, Owen Ramon, and Owen McCusker at Multimedia Production at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health. Music for this episode was provided by pond5.com.